Hi, Cynics Movies here. Today I'll be explaining a 2015 science-fi thriller, adventure, American film that features Jupiter Jones, who works as a servant, cleaning people's houses, but experiences a life-changing encounter which places her in the position to protect the Earth. Relax and enjoy. Long before Jupiter was born, her dad and mom loved each other and married. Her dad had this special affection for a telescope, with which he used to study the stars in the sky almost every time. One night, while Jupiter's mom was pregnant with her, their house got burgled by armed robbers, and as they made away with their money, they also were going to take the telescope, but her dad kept begging them not to take it. They end up shooting him to his abdomen, which eventually cost him his life. This got Jupiter's mom really devastated, as she withdrew from everyone else, but her sister, Jupiter, is finally born into Earth, under a night sky, with signs predicting she was destined for great things. Her aunt made sure to tell her that she was special. Later on in life, Jupiter's life is not exactly how she wanted it to be, as she works as a servant and cleans people's houses out without a choice of her own. This in turn made her say that she hated her life. Lord Titus, Balaam's brother and a co-heir, seeks to acquire the Earth, which according to his mother was the most rare and beautiful estate she ever owned. But his sister, Caine, is barely able to convince Lord Titus that the ones he owned were far much better than what he desired, which already belongs to his brother, Lord Balaam. Balaam makes his way out of their conversation, as he had more pressing matters to attend to. Lord Balaam is informed of the gene print verified and connected to Catherine Donlevy, which happens to be Jupiter's fake name. Balaam orders for Catherine to be found and killed. In one of the homes Jupiter cleans up, Catherine is getting ready for a date and seeks Jupiter's opinion on what to wear and what she thinks about love. Jupiter's response is however disappointing, as she quotes her mother, who says love is only a fairy tale. As Jupiter finds her way to Catherine's wardrobe to search something out, a group of aliens arrive at the room and turn Catherine in such a way to find something from her body parts. Jupiter notices what's going on and tries to take a picture, but is interrupted by a call from her mom, pulling the aliens' attention to her. They eventually disappear, and this leaves Jupiter puzzled for a moment. At Jupiter's family home, during dinner, there seems to be a dispute between her mom and her uncle, which quickly settles the moment Jupiter is brought into the discussion. Jupiter uses the opportunity to ask for an advance payment and promises to pay back to enable her get something she wants, but her uncle declines, noting her problem was that she was too smart and for that reason she's yet to be married, cause men do not love smart women. Jupiter actually has her eyes on a telescope she desired, so her cousin comes up with a stinking idea of Jupiter selling her eggs, but they'll have to split the money in some manner so that her cousin takes the more money. Jupiter sees this as the only option she's got to purchase her telescope, and opts into that offer. Jupiter appears at the clinic for the operation as Catherine Donlevy. Unknown to her, the same aliens she captured on her phone are the ones waiting for her at the theater. They detect the gene print they've been searching for and order for her to be killed. Jupiter begins to lose her breath and slips away as everything seems confusing to her, but a hero, Caine Wise, storms into the theater to rescue Jupiter from being murdered. Caine Wise, a genetically engineered ex-military hunter who was formerly a legionnaire, arrives on Earth with his boots, hired by Lord Titus to Jupiter's rescue. He is successful at defeating the aliens, moving Jupiter to some safe place, still in Chicago. Jupiter is back to consciousness, having been asleep for almost 12 hours, and Caine puts a gun beside her to make her feel safe. Jupiter demands explanation for what's going, as this is all too much for her to take in. Caine takes his time to explain what's really going on, and how Jupiter possesses such great destiny. Someone like Lord Balaam seeks to destroy, and they will stop at nothing until she is dead. Jupiter thinks this is all a mistake, and just wants to go home, but Caine tells her that those who are after her rarely make those kinds of mistakes. News gets to Lord Balaam that the girl, Jupiter, slipped out of their hands and is still alive, and this infuriates him so much so to destroy any ship entering into their planet. As Caine and Jupiter make their way out of the building with the aid of Caine's boots, they come under heavy attack, but manage to escape with a strange car belonging to a woman, and Caine sustaining an injury to his abdomen which leaves him bleeding. Caine and Jupiter head toward Stinger's place, somewhat like a bee house, and as Caine and Stinger settle out their differences, they see a swarm of bees hover around Jupiter. When Stinger sees this, he bows in reverence to Jupiter, calling her Your Majesty. According to Stinger, bees are genetically designed to recognize royalty. Caine tells Stinger he's doing this for Lord Titus, with the hope that they both could get their wings back, as promised by Lord Titus. Still at Stinger's place, Jupiter's cousin, who cajoled her into selling her eggs, calls, informing her of what he already purchased in advance of the money he hopes to get from Jupiter's eggs. Jupiter sadly burst his bubbles that she never had the operation done. They soon come under attack at Stinger's place. This time, they take Jupiter with them in their spaceship. Caine wouldn't give up that easily, as he swiftly made his way to cling to the spaceship. Jupiter is taken to some strange place, where she is being revered as royalty almost everywhere she goes. Caine made sure to go everywhere with her to keep her safe. Jupiter, on the other hand, is starting to feel something special for Caine. Caine reveals he's sticking around to help Jupiter, cause Stinger said if he did, Stinger could help them get back in the Legion, but this was a lie, as Stinger walks in with a group of men to take Jupiter away. Caine tries to get in defense of Jupiter, but Stinger discourages him not to, apologizes to him. At the same time, Jupiter is taken away to Lord Titus, who has selfish intentions towards Jupiter. Jupiter requests to be taken back home, that is, Earth, and Lord Titus orders for an arrangement to be made immediately, but in the meantime requests she joins him for dinner. Caine, on the other hand, is locked up in some place on Lord Titus' orders. At dinner, Jupiter asks for Caine, but Lord Titus says he broke their contract, which is a lie to win Jupiter over. Lord Titus takes her to some place where human genetics are refined and stored from approximately 100 human beings in just one jar. He says his mom tried to stop this business, but she was murdered, and he believes the same thing will happen to him, cause he's continued the same thing his mom started, and that is why he hired Caine to find Jupiter, as he cannot allow neither his brother nor his sister to end up with his part of the inheritance. And so he asks Jupiter to marry him, but this is only a lie to get her killed. Lord Titus tosses Caine into the void, with every reassurance he wasn't going to survive, but before then, he tells Caine he was going to have Jupiter killed. Caine is able to break loose from his cuffs, and he secures a suit for himself. He is then able to survive the oxygen shortage. Jupiter's cousin comes under heavy criticism by the family for convincing her to sell her eggs, but they all soon become hostages, following Lord Balaam's order to capture the family. Jupiter has a rethink about the marriage, but then Lord Titus is there to lie to her that it was more of a contract than a marriage, in order to protect people. She insists on speaking to Caine, and this gives Lord Titus the impression that she doesn't trust him. Lord Titus comes up with another lie to put Caine in a bad light. Jupiter, deceived and feeling the need to protect, agrees to the contract. Caine is rescued from the void by a group, and he quickly teams up with Stinger, putting away the fact that Stinger betrayed him. The wedding ceremony is in progress, and as they are to exchange vows and have it sealed, Caine shows up to warn her of the plans Lord Titus has for her, that is, to kill her after he's married her and thus rescue her. Jupiter's only wish right now is to go back home. Caine takes her back home, only to find the house in much disarray. They find Lord Balaam's men waiting for them instead, and demanding Jupiter to come with them if she wants her family alive. Caine doesn't like this sort of negotiation and thinks it's dangerous for Jupiter to go with them, but Jupiter says it's her family and thus her decision to make. She decides to go with them. For the sake of her family, they take Jupiter in a separate ship from Caine and his men, and intentionally cut them off from going in with them to Lord Balaam by closing the border. Caine, on the other hand, takes the bold step after much thought and pushes from Stinger to get in, whichever way to rescue Jupiter. Lord Balaam tries to kill Jupiter's mother in a bid to do what he wants. Jupiter buys the plan and begs him to stop, and promises to do whatever he wants her to. Caine crashes into their planet and causes everything to come down crumbling. Encouraged by Caine's bravery, Jupiter crashes the application Lord Balaam was going to use to secure the Earth from her. Caine and Jupiter share a kiss just before Caine goes ahead to continue fighting, just in case she wouldn't have the opportunity anymore. Lord Balaam is scared to death as his world and everything he's held dear seems to come to an end. But Lord Balaam is determined to kill Jupiter as he pursues her tirelessly in the midst of the chaos. Jupiter manages to move her family to a place of safety until Lord Balaam shows up to disrupt her arrangement. Caine is successful at extracting Jupiter's family out of the place just in time, but Caine and Jupiter seem to be trapped. Caine shows his bravery again, finds them out of the crashing planet into the void. The crew, thinking they couldn't make it out, were already sad until they received signals from Caine indicating Caine and Jupiter are alive. Jupiter is back with her family home, but this time acting rejuvenated. Her family are clearly not aware of what went down in the last few days. During the family's breakfast, they surprise Jupiter with a telescope she's always wanted, and this makes her super excited. Caine and Jupiter meet at the rooftop. This time, Caine has his wings back he once lost, and they reunite happily. Thanks for watching. For more interesting videos like this, kindly like and subscribe.